Hello there and welcome back to another video, and Liverpool are hoping, my God, hoping to put things right and actually get our first win at our fourth attempt this season so far in the Premier League when we come up against Bournemouth at the weekend at 3 o'clock on Saturday. I do believe that it is at Anfield as well. I did just look at it, but my mind's a bit like a sieve these days. Is what it is, isn't it? I hope you guys are doing well, hope you're taking care of yourselves, and I hope that you guys have had a good week and we can hopefully, fingers crossed, look forward to the weekend ahead because of the football. Anyway, we're going to kick off with some things that Jurgen Klopp has been talking about in his press conference today before the game, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions on it, and then we're going to go through the usual things like starting lineup, my thoughts about Liverpool and things at the moment, just like I like to do. And we'll try and give some sort of prediction of what the result will be and what I hope it will be. I'll try and do both of them. What I think it will be, what I hope it will be, and hopefully what I hope it will be what it will be. I've said be too many times. Anyway, here we go. Let's talk about what Klopp was, things that he was asked. He was asked about transfers. We are working constantly on these things. Sometimes it's expensive, sometimes not the right player, but we're working. If something will happen or not, I don't know. How can the team improve? I am in support of this team, but my main job is to put things right. I can learn a lot in my life when things haven't gone well. Not my favourite situation, but I like this part of the job. We need to find a perfect way to fight the outside world again. Now, quickly on the transfer things, some people are taking this comment of saying we're working constantly on these things to say Liverpool are going to get Jude Bellingham. No, come on. Please, honestly, and I don't even think we're going to get Jude Bellingham next summer. Too many clubs will be swarming around that player, including probably and most notably the likes of Real Madrid. It's not going to happen. I'm not convinced it will happen, and I'm not putting all my eggs in that basket of Jude Bellingham. Great player, fantastic player, and buckets of potential. Not one that I'm putting all my eggs in. I'm not putting anything on that one. And for me personally, I still think that Liverpool's business is done this summer. I don't think that we're going to be going in for anybody, even though we do probably need to. Like midfield, looking into that area of some of the play, and that tends to be the biggest blame area at the moment is the midfield of why we're not performing so well. I think that is some of the issue. I don't think it's the whole issue, though. I still believe that the fact that I do think that we've been figured out, and I also think our high line at the moment is costing us. It just is. So, how do we do Liverpool's performances this season? In one of the 4 games, including the Community Shield, we didn't perform, which was against Fulham. We did other good stuff in the rest, and now it is Bournemouth. I don't take anything for granted. I want to be the one. I want to be the one team no one wants to play against again. That's the plan for tomorrow. I'm inclined to disagree with you a little bit. Obviously, I love Jurgen Klopp, but you can disagree with someone that you respect and enjoy their work. I would say we've had moments. I would say we've had some good moments, but having possession, keeping a team pinned back doesn't equate to having good performances, in my opinion, because good performances come with wins. It does. It just does. All right, you can take the draws against Fulham and Crystal Palace. You can be all right. The Crystal Palace one especially, that was one where we looked like we're starting to turn a bit of a corner. Even some of the performance against Manchester United, you could see that we were doing what we normally do. We were having the possession and maybe we're having chances. But again, it's shots on target, not being enough, not being clinical enough with our chances, and then we're getting caught out at the back. We're getting caught out at the back, just like that season when Van Dijk and Gomez were injured and basically we were threadbare with centre-backs and stuff like that as well. It's not, I don't think that we've played well in 3 out of those 4 games. I think the Community Shield game was probably our best performance out of those games, and it absolutely hands down was. It was a really, really good performance, and for me, I thought it was going to be a springboard for the season coming up, and it just so far hasn't. It just hasn't been anywhere near that. How do Liverpool improve from here? We have to improve so we can improve effort immediately. I don't think effort's really something to do with it. You can see the effort is there, apart from maybe some of the, like, you know, the goals against United, it kind of looked like people were lethargic and getting caught out. It was maybe at 95%, but we need 100%. It's all football things, and we have the football solutions for it. Things we achieved were never easy, so no one should expect that it's easy now. Let's go for it together. We need to give Ali the chance for a clean sheet. He cannot do it alone, so we have to defend better and then attack better. Everyone is responsible for everything. This start looks difficult, but it's not impossible. Is anyone fit again for the weekend? Nobody for the weekend, right? That doesn't sound great, obviously, but the context of it is, what he's meaning is that people that were already injured last week aren't coming back this week. So, but after this weekend, Matip, Curtis Jones, Thiago's not far away. Jota is getting closer. Kelleher will be training next week as well. He doesn't think anybody that wasn't already, ready, that they will be coming back tomorrow. Now, we can talk about is it too early to worry about drop points? And he basically says to the reporter, you can worry about dropped points if you want, but it doesn't make too much sense. If you worry about other teams, it doesn't help. This team delivered an incredibly high level in the last few years, which is very, very true. Without Liverpool in these last 4 or 5 years, Man City would have been the team that absolutely obliterated everything. That is absolute fact. However, you're only as good as your last performance. That's what I believe. So often winning, but we don't take it for granted. We have to work hard for it. It's too early to close the season, and that is it for us. No one knows what we can achieve this season. There are a lot of points to get, but we should start collecting them. Yeah, we're gonna, we'll talk about some things along the way anyway. That was pretty much the majority of everything that he was talking about in this one. I wanted to move on into things like lineups and stuff like that as well, but also give my thoughts and opinions about Liverpool and stuff at the moment. Look, the way that things are landing, or the way that things are looking at the moment for Liverpool is, one, do not expect transfers to be coming in. If you're someone that sits on Twitter and you follow certain accounts that maybe, oh God, there's one who's been saying all summer that Liverpool are signing Jude Bellingham this summer. I can't remember the name of it. Garbage. Absolute garbage. Gets interaction like a moth to, like a fly on shit. Let's just say that. And I apologise for swearing at that little bit there. But basically, almost every single day, tweets out things like, Jude Bellingham, there is an agreement in place and he will be coming to Liverpool this summer. Well, I'm telling you, he's got 5 days until the transfer window ends. Stop believing people online that have absolutely no idea, in my opinion, about Liverpool incomings and outgoings. Jude Bellingham isn't coming this summer. Absolutely not. 100% not. I have no inside sources on that one, but I'm old enough to know when I think that we're done. I said it weeks ago when we got Darwin Núñez. Maybe even months ago when we got Darwin Núñez. I can't remember. My brain's all over the place these days. That probably once we got in, Calvin Ramsey, the right back, obviously we got Darwin Núñez in as well. We absolutely signed someone else. See, I always do this. We sign someone else and I go, Carvalho. Once we've done that, and obviously we've had a couple of outgoings as well, fair few outgoings to be fair, I said that was pretty much Liverpool done. And some people will argue and say, well, we're not strong enough and this, that and the other. You might be right, you might be wrong. Who knows? But I have that, we've made the big money signing. We've got in some right back cover and someone else, like someone new, creative, dynamic, young in Carvalho. That's Liverpool's business this summer. I would be astonished if Liverpool went out and signed 1 or 2 players. Definitely, even if they signed 1 more player, I would be absolutely gobsmacked. I really, really would. Don't expect incomings and outgoings. Maybe some outgoings, I don't even know who that would be. Maybe loan deals for younger players or something like that. But incomings, don't expect any. Do we need them? Yeah, most likely we do. But I also think we're just going to have to get on with what we've got right now. And I think that's just how, people aren't going to like it. But I think maybe in a few weeks time, and I spoke to a friend of mine at work about this the other day. He's a fellow Liverpool fan. And I did say to him, look, I have a problem sometimes that I can become too pessimistic. And this is me about myself. I can sometimes quite easily, when things are going well, things are great, and it's easy to look on the bright side of life. But sometimes it's easy as well, when things aren't going so well, to be a bit pessimistic. Things start to look negative, and you start drawing upon different experiences and things that you've seen maybe other teams have. Are we going to go through something like similar? Are we going to have a period of time where we end up a little bit like Arsenal have been, where they float, you know, they drop down lower in the league and stuff like that, and they have to build themselves back up and all that sort of stuff? Could things like that happen? Yeah, they could happen, but they might not happen as well. That's also a fact. But what we'll look at in a couple of weeks is when some of these players actually do start coming back that are injured. And we go through that injury list that I've got right now in front of me. Thiago, Curtis Jones, obviously Darwin Núñez is still suspended. You know, and he's got another game after this one where he's going to be suspended as well. So, and that'll be his 3 games. But someone like that, your big not record signing, but your big money signing of the summer, someone who I believe will be a good addition to that front line. I think he showed it in the Community Shield. He showed it in some pre-season as well. I think he's going to be really, really good for Liverpool. But we miss him in these games because we're going to be having to start with someone like Firmino. However, you know, and like for me, like I say, I think Firmino's just not that guy at the moment. Maybe I don't want to say any more, you know, but he's just not that kind of, you know, that dynamic striker that we need at the moment. And if we start with that, then fair play. I'm sure he can still do some good things for us as well. That's going to be in the predicted lineup for SofaScore. My predicted lineup, or the lineup I would like, is going to be a little bit different. But let's go through it again. Sorry. So yeah, so we've got Thiago, Curtis Jones, obviously Darwin Núñez, Kelleher, Konate, Joel Matip, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Jota, Calvin Ramsey. These guys are all out. And that is a list of 9 players there as well. We're just going to have to deal. When they start coming back, you then see we will have more options. We're able to use Diogo Jota up front. We'll be able to use either Ibrahima Konate or Joel Matip as well. Someone like Curtis Jones, look, he seems to be Marmite with the fan base. I like Curtis Jones. I'd like to see more from him, though. Not necessarily more of him. Like, that would be great. You'd see more of him if you're getting more from him. If his consistency goes up, then that would be brilliant. Thiago, someone that we like to see, but when he gets injured, it seems to be a theme with some players. If he gets injured, he's out for a little bit. He's out for a while. Can be, you know, and he's a big presence on that pitch, even though he's quite a diminutive, small person as well. Oxlade-Chamberlain, I made my thoughts quite clear in the last video. Maybe some people thought it was a bit harsh, but I think I don't know how much he's going to contribute to Liverpool moving forward, and he maybe should have been someone that got moved on this summer. Jota, definitely miss him, absolutely. Calvin Ramsey, I can't say whether we miss him or not, because I haven't seen him play. And Kelleher, as obviously his backup goalkeeper. Look, there's going to be options, is what I'm saying. Maybe these players will start coming back at the right time when things like the Champions League kicks off and stuff like that as well. We'll talk about that near the end of the video as well, about the Champions League draw, because we got Rangers, Ajax and Napoli in that one as well, which I think is quite tough. Now, moving on to Bournemouth. Bournemouth have actually got more points than us. They've got 3 points. They won their opening game of the season. And they are managed by Scott Parker, who used to manage Fulham, and Fulham have teams that he's managed, like Fulham, have made it difficult for us in the past as well. I don't know. I'm just looking through their team at the moment, or the predicted team that they've got here. There's only one player that I can even think, and 2 players that I remember: Jefferson Lerma and Ben Pearson, your midfielders. I've heard of Marcus Tavernier. I think he came from Middlesbrough, possibly. Can't entirely remember. But I do think that this is going to be another sort of, like, maybe a bit like a Fulham game that we had at the 2-2 that we've had at the start of the season. I think it's going to be another difficult game. And it's another game that I fear. I don't know. I haven't watched this Bournemouth team. I haven't watched the games that they've played. So I can't really say how they play. But I'm assuming Scott Parker, manager, they're going to play in a similar way to when he was at Fulham, and they made it difficult for us as well. I'm expecting a difficult game. I really am. But I'm really, really, really absolutely hoping with every fibre of my being that we can pick up the 3 points, because, make no mistake, at this moment in time, there is nothing less than 3 points to be acceptable. It just isn't. It would, if we even draw this game, I'm not going to be happy, because it still means that people that, you know, that leading charging pack will be pulling away from us. You could see Arsenal maybe on 12 points, see other teams that could go on a maximum of 10 points because they got 7 points at the moment, like, and then you'd be stuck there on 3. If you lose the game, then we'd probably be in the relegation zone. Let's be real. Like, that's the absolute reality of where we're at. And I'm desperately hoping that that doesn't happen. I really am. I'm so concerned that that could happen, but I'm really trying to talk myself round from it that won't happen. I'm hoping that this Liverpool team will have had their asses kicked up and down over the last week since that United performance, that we actually put in a good performance at 3 o'clock tomorrow. Now, the SofaScore lineup is Alisson, Trent, Joe Gomez, Virgil van Dijk, Andy Robertson, Harvey Elliott, Fabinho, Jordan Henderson, Mohamed Salah, Bobby Firmino and Luis Diaz. Now, I would like, if we could do it, and I'm not sure what other midfielders that we've got available, so like I don't necessarily want to go with the Fabinho, Milner, Henderson midfield, but we could go that way. We absolutely could go that way. But I would like to see Salah through the middle, Harvey Elliott out on the on the right hand side. Now, some people might be against that. I don't know. I want to run you through the lineup that I would like to see. So everything's the same, apart from the mid. So all the back line is the same because we haven't got right. I wouldn't mind actually seeing Tsimikas at left back if he's fit and ready to go. I think he could offer us something a little bit more dangerous than Andy Robertson at the moment. I'm not saying that Andy Robertson's been particularly bad, but I think we do need to see maybe a little bit of a difference there. And Tsimikas, every time he played for us last season, like, and even though he didn't really get that many opportunities starting, he was very good for us. And I'm not saying that Andy Robertson isn't. I just want to freshen things up a little bit and give someone else an opportunity. And why not? Tsimikas is a very good player, and I think he's someone who, if he doesn't get his opportunities this season, could be someone that looks to move on, because he'll probably be going like, well, what's the point? So my lineup would be Alisson, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Joe Gomez, Virgil van Dijk, Tsimikas at left back. Okay, now we're going to go Fabinho. I'm not having him start at the bench like he did against Man United. What the hell that was all about? No idea. I will question that one, that decision to put Fabinho on the bench. No, he needs to start. He's as important as Alisson, Van Dijk, any other player that you think is a pillar of this team. Fabinho is part of the spine. He's so important. There's no one else in our team like him. Fabinho as the defensive midfielder. It's divisive, but we haven't really got many options. Jordan Henderson in the midfield as well. Right or left, it's up to you, wherever you put him. Fabio Carvalho. I'd like to see him get a start. He's been coming on for like maybe 10 minutes here or there. He's a dynamic young player, and I want to see him from the start. I want to see what he can offer us, because you need someone like that, like we have with. He's not on Thiago's level, and they're not anywhere really near the same players. They're in different stages of their career, of course, but I think he could offer us something from midfield quite well. I really genuinely do believe that. Now, there is a different thing that you could do here as well, because I'll finish this bit off. Fabinho, Henderson, Carvalho in midfield, and then you could go Harvey Elliott on the right-hand side, Mohamed Salah through the middle, and Luis Diaz on the left-hand side. Now, the difference that you could do here is you could go Fabinho, Jordan Henderson, and then you could also go, the name has absolutely just flew out of my head. Absolutely just flew out. You could go Harvey Elliott in midfield, right? You go Harvey Elliott in midfield. You could then still have Salah through the middle. You could have Carvalho in an attacking position, either on the right or left, most likely the right. And then you've got Luis Diaz on the left-hand side as well. If I see something like that, or the one that I talked about before, I'm quite happy. I'll be looking forward to the match. I really, really will be. What people won't be looking forward to, which could happen, is if they see a Fabinho, Milner, Henderson midfield. Especially because against Manchester United, that result is still quite recent. Obviously, only happening on Monday this week. It's still quite raw. People aren't happy about, you know, everything that happened in that game. And why would we be? It is what it is. Whatever happens, all we need is a result. But I would love those two lineups So let's go again, the midfield. Fabinho, Henderson and Carvalho, with Harvey Elliott in the wide position, Salah through the middle, and Luis Diaz right there on the left-hand side. Or you go Harvey Elliott in midfield with Henderson and Fabinho, and you have Carvalho in a wide position, Salah and Luis Diaz in the wide position as well. Either of those I'd be quite happy with. In terms of a result, I have no idea. I don't have faith that we're going to keep a clean sheet at the moment. I really, really don't. Unless we see something drastically different from the likes of Van Dijk, Joe Gomez, Trent, Tsimikas or Andy Robertson, whoever it might be, I don't see us keeping a clean sheet. I really, really don't. I'm going to go for a 2-1 for Liverpool. A, because I don't see us keeping a clean sheet, but B, because we need the win. Like, we need the win. Absolutely, 100% need that win. Like there's no tomorrow. We really, really do. We need to start picking up points, like Klopp said, but it's easier said than done. You can turn around and say Liverpool are going to pick up points all day long. I don't really know the prospect of what we're going to face against Bournemouth. I really, really don't. I don't know what we're going to... I don't know what type of team it is. Is it a pressing team? Like, the predicted lineup here has them in a 3-4-3. We've not really, for a long time, done great against a 3 at the back, or if it turns into a 5 at the back. It's going to be a challenge. Like, people can maybe look at it and say, you know, Liverpool coming up against Bournemouth, we should be scoring a couple of goals. There's no evidence to the start of this season. Yeah, we scored 2 goals against Fulham, 1 goal against Palace, and 1 goal against Manchester United. Like, where's the evidence that we're going to be scoring 3 or 4 goals? Apart from the fact that some of these players have done it before, likes of Salah, likes of even Firmino, like you know, and Luis Diaz has scored like that. What was it? The goal against Palace. We need much more of that from Diaz as well. 2-1 Liverpool, because I'm trying to have faith. I'm not entirely confident in it, I'll be totally honest with you, but we need those 3 points. That's my, you know, thoughts and predictions on the Bournemouth game. In terms of the Champions League draw, yeah, we got Rangers, Ajax and Napoli. Difficult teams, all of them. Difficult teams. Obviously different manager than, yeah, I think, is it Giovanni Van Bronckhorst or something, is manager of Rangers. I don't know who the Ajax manager is. I don't know. I haven't watched Napoli probably since we last played them in the Champions League. We played Ajax recently in the Champions League. It will have been Ten Hag in charge, I think. They were difficult to play. I think we did beat them at least once, because I think they were in our group. And it was difficult. It's going to be a difficult group. It'll be a difficult group, just like everything for Liverpool this season. It's going to be difficult. It's not going to be easy. Not going to be a walk in the park. And depending on how we are with injury situations, stuff like that, because obviously we're waiting and hoping for all these players to come back from injury, whilst also hoping that no one else gets injured. Like, that's that pessimistic side of me that I'm like, I prepare for the worst in my mind and hope for the best. Obviously, worst case scenario is more players start getting injured, because we're relying on the same set of players while we're waiting for other players that are injured to come back. There's so many different layers. Peel the onion. There's so many different things that we could have happen to us. The only thing that we can do is just, we've got to look forward and wait and see what happens. I'm not the best at waiting and seeing. I'm just not. I like to know things as fact, and that this is going to happen. This is going to happen. This isn't the case with football. Anything can happen in football. And as we've seen recently, anything can happen in football. 2-1 is the victory, is the scoreline that I'm hoping for Liverpool. I'm hoping we do more. I'm hoping we get a clean sheet. I just want the 3 points, and we need those 3 points as well. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do feel free to hit that like button and subscribe if you're new around here. Thank you once again. Do take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful rest of the night, and I'll catch you later.